Block. We're coming on our third official episode, Brothers on the Block. Thank you for being here this evening. Appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate you. I'm Pastor Mark. I got brother Jermaine Nation with me. I got brother Maryland with me, and I got AJ, the huge Dallas homer of all time, with us, and we're gonna appreciate him. We're gonna appreciate him.
Man.
We're gonna appreciate him. We're gonna appreciate him. And so today's topic, let me just give y'all the premise of the show. We are brothers who are Christian that love the Lord, but love sports at the same time. And so we want to give y'all a sports show that y'all can get involved in, talk about, have some good laughs and so forth. But the thing that we want to bring to you today is really who is the greatest NBA player of all time. Now, this is what I was told. I was told this could take us the hour. So we have set aside any other sports talk, and we're going to talk about NBA. We're going to talk about who is the greatest of all time, the greatest NBA player of all time. Now, we ain't talking about the dude that was at the Rucker Park. If he didn't make the NBA, he can't count. We ain't talking about the brother that was at 8 Mile. You don't know, but I know. But he didn't make the NBA, he don't count. We ain't talking about that brother down in Bontown. We love him, but he didn't make that NBA. We ain't talking about that brother. We only talking about brothers, or if you want to throw in a WNBA player, we can holler at you. But we talking about the best of the best, the best of the best. So the first question on deck. First of all, this whole conversation: can you have the best of all time? I want to throw that to Brother Maryland. Can you have the best of all time? Can that really be a conversation?
I'm most certainly think it is. It can be a conversation. I mean, this conversation has been around as long as all of us has been on this earth, and it seems to change on a day in day out basis. I mean, this conversation alone is it's almost as sacred as bringing up politics or talking church with people. Like they say it's one of the things you're not supposed to do, just because the difference of opinions is so vast. But yeah, I mean, most definitely, we definitely have a greatest of all times, but who that person is subjective.
What you think, Jermaine?
I think that if we have to have that if we're going to have a conversation about who's the greatest, I think that there has to be some type of criteria. I think that you can't just really say, oh, Michael is, the greatest, or LeBron is the greatest. I think you could say that, they're the greatest in their eras, but then, I mean, I don't think you could put, the two together, because of the fact that, Jordan was a guard and LeBron is the power forward. And so, I mean, I think we have to just figure out like what the criteria is if we're actually going to have, that conversation. But I mean, it's a conversation, that, like I said, many people have, but, I have yet to see a list of what we're judging them on.
I appreciate Brother Jermaine visiting us from South Fork Mansion. So, we call him JR if you don't know. He come a long way. In the 3 weeks, he called Comcast, AT&T, and his Wi-Fi today. I don't want to talk about nobody. I plug myself up today. I don't want to talk about Windows 98. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, only thing missing is the Versace button down like Jermaine got on.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. So, Brother AJ, what's your thoughts, man?
I'm gonna agree with Brother Jermaine. It's definitely can be a conversation, but at the same time, I think you have to look at the different eras of the different generation. When you look at the NBA, it's constantly changing, so it's kind of hard to have a greatest when the game may not been the same. Let's say in the 90s when Michael was playing, it could have been more tougher, or the refs were less friendlier. So you just have to go back and just say no, because of the difference of the games and the difference of the times, it's gonna make it really hard. So it just goes back to what Jermaine said. You're gonna have to have great criteria. We need what are the criteria for this? Because it has to be something that we can see. Everybody can say, hey, you can't it's not an opinion. This is factual now because the numbers are here, and that's gonna be difficult.
But do you think? I'm glad you said that last point. Do you think it's a difficult conversation because if I'm talking about Oscar Robertson, if I'm talking about Dr. J, if I'm talking about, they all got different arrows and going to be different stats. Even some stats weren't taken at the same time. I'm a big football fan. I ain't gonna lie to you. Favorite sport, Texas born and raised. Hey, that's what it is. But if I'm talking about Jim Thorpe today, it's all gonna be hypotheticals, right? The Jim Thorpe of today, if he was conditioned like these athletes, he'd be tearing them up.
Yeah.
So you kind of put all that together because yes, you got the stats and all those things, but could that person, if best of all time, could they dominate those different eras? I think you got to put that into play too, right? So okay, so I think everybody's kind of like, yeah, you can talk about it. So that gives us to our next discussion because this is what's been said, that the greatest of all time is Michael, I don't know his middle name, from North Carolina, Jordan, Chicago Bulls, Washington Wizards, now the owner of the Charlotte Hornets, number 23, 4-5 for some of those folks, is the greatest of all time. Is that the case? Is Michael Jordan the greatest player of all time?
One can certainly say that. When you look at what he did coming into the league, from winning rookie of the year all the way up into the championships. So if you just look at like his play style, what he accomplished, and even off the court things that he did, you can say that. But I think that's why I like that Mount Rushmore thing, because I think we can put him up there with the greatest. So of all time, I don't know.
Okay, so you like, nah, there is no greatest?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't believe
from y'all.
Yeah, so I don't believe that there is. Like I said earlier, certainly you can have that conversation and we can discuss it and talk about it, but I really don't believe that is because then we forget about Larry Bird, we forget about Wilt Chamberlain, we forget about all these other greats that was great before Michael Jordan became great. So it's just a tricky subject. So that's why that Mount Rushmore thing that's more should be more accurate.
Jermaine, what you think?
I mean, I think that we can call him a great, but I think that, you know what I'm saying, like AJ was saying, is that there were people before him that like paved the way for him to be who he is, and then he also turned around and paved the way for LeBron, for Kobe to do what, you know what I'm saying, what they did, and what, you know, LeBron continues to do. So I don't think that we can actually say that he's the greatest. He's one of the greats, but I don't think that we could actually say he's the greatest.
Correct.
Jason, you from Detroit? You know, let's get all the facts out there. You know, Detroit, Chicago got a little history. Even as of today, we learned that through the Last Dance. It's still present today. That beef. So, Jason, what you think, man?
Well, you know, I'm gonna take a different approach on it. We were just talking about the others that need to be mentioned in this list. And you know, when you research the greatest of all times, you often come across the top 10, which usually is Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Magic, Bird, Shaq, Tim Duncan, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, and Steph Curry is in the top 10.
Whoa, wait, no, Kobe?
Kobe's 14th.
Oh my gosh.
See, and that's why I say, like, it's so, because you can't put Kobe down there. But when you try to go with this greatest of all time, you got greats like Kobe that just fall. And we know that's not true.
But do you think, and no diss to Kobe, Kobe game was so similar to Jordan that sometimes we forget how great Kobe was because we feel like, oh, he's Jordan .2. Instead of, you know, when Michael Jordan, you don't think about somebody else When you think about Michael Jordan, you think about Michael Jordan. You don't think about Dr. J. And even though you can make those, maybe you can make those comparisons. But Kobe and Michael, even in death, they are linked at the hip to be almost like this is your son almost, it felt like. And that be some reason, not trying to get off subject, but some reason why we forget how great Kobe was. And maybe we throw in that Kobe seemed to need somebody like Jordan did, we're going to get honest, but needed a Shaq. The second time around, it was Gasol.
Mm-hmm.
So could that be why he's 14 and not in the top 10?
Because most of those guys needed help.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, there was always a Robin.
Yeah.
Jordan, Pippen. I mean, everybody had somebody. So that can't be the reason why he dropped that low. I mean, I don't. Yeah.
Could also that Michael Jordan had. Can we say that Michael Jordan in the media has almost like no one talked about any of the wrongs that he may have done or been a part of versus other folks? Like we talking about Kevin Garnett. The first thing I think about Cheerios. I don't want to go into that discussion, but he was somebody who trashed off big time. But I think about Kobe got whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like you need somebody who's in the media. They're gonna crown somebody who they can like, or they seem so put off that I can't touch them.
Mm-hmm.
Like Magic Johnson, everybody like Magic. He smiled and all that. Not saying Magic because that's my favorite player. Not that he's not a great player, but can the media crown people who may not be that good, but we like them, so we give them passes?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the biggest thing that has always brought this to a standstill was the time of like the existence of these players. Jordan's era, LeBron's era, Magic, Oscar Robertson, David Rob. I mean, all these players played at different times. So depending on your age and who you grew up watching, you also may be biased on, just like Kobe. Like some have Kobe probably in the top 5, and you never got a chance to see an Oscar Robertson play, who some may have in their top 5.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, then some folks like to make it stats. Let's look at the numbers, and then the numbers is kind of how most of these lists evolve. They go by the numbers, and they start ranking folks off of that. But I don't think you can go by the numbers either. But Jordan, I mean, Jordan had his flaws. He had his ups, his downs. I mean, as well as LeBron. He's still short from a statistical standpoint from Jordan. Which is kind of where the conversation, I think, here in the more recent years between the two, folks start talking stats. If you talk, a game in, game out, I mean, LeBron is unlike anything else, we've seen in the past, handful of decades from a physical specimen standpoint. I mean, he's scoring at will. He's pretty much polished his game in all facets. But then that whole argument of the time, the era, because as I think I mentioned last week, folks, back in Jordan's era, you just get knocked around, and you just mentioned The Last Dance, the Bad Boys, the rivalry there. You saw how the Pistons was beating up on them, throughout their first series, which Jordan admitted that made him go out and want to better himself and get stronger, add on some muscle, etc. But we take that style of play from then to that style of play now, it's none of that flies right now. So I think scoring is a bit easier, but that's also my opinion, versus anyone else's opinion. Some of the fouls you can't do now as you could then. So it almost looks a bit easier, but folks would say put LeBron in Jordan's time and LeBron still would do LeBron things, and I don't think that's the case.
I don't believe that either. Yeah.
No, let me. So Jordan, so you're saying LeBron was in Jordan's time, and y'all saying Jordan is a rougher time, and we would agree even before Jordan is a rougher time.
Mm-hmm.
These folks are straight fist fighting. I mean, as that coach out of Houston, I mean, they straight fist fighting, and then the 80s came, and it was there's a vibe up in here. There was a
oh man.
It's all good. Hey, we're gonna make it, man. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
I'm not
It's
even
Monday.
gonna fix it.
It's Monday.
No. It's Monday, and we all love the Wizard of Oz on the cool. So Dorothy didn't pull that curve back on. No, I'm joking. But anyway, LeBron is a big dude that could play football. Are we saying he couldn't play in Jordan's time? That's a big dude. He's big. He's big like Magic, as tall, but a lot bigger and wider. Are we saying he couldn't tough it out with the Celtics? Now, I'm not saying everybody gonna need help like Michael needed help, but what we saying he can't survive in that time?
He gonna be crying.
Have you seen this brother flop?
but that also is a part of this culture too, right? The culture is about flop. As Ginobili, that dude is a master of flopping. How many championships San Antonio got because somebody flopping? So, but you can't flop during that time. That boy gonna stand up. Are we saying that LeBron? Because I think we would give Kobe that pass.
But Kobe wasn't. I mean, and I'm not saying that Kobe never flopped, but I mean, I think Kobe had that okay, you know what I'm saying? You show me up on this end, I'm about to show you up on the next end, but I'm not gonna leave it to the refs. I'm gonna actually play my game. I think for LeBron, it's more so, let me get a little help here, and there or whatever from the refs or whatever. I mean, you look at LeBron wrong, and it's a technical, So back in George's day, you know what I'm saying? Like we said before, when they were playing the Pistons or whatever, them brothers was throwing down. So no, I don't think he could survive in the era.
I mean, because even Larry Bird got his head tick off a couple times, back then. But we haven't. Yeah, I mean, from what LeBron has showed us now, it's just hard to say that his numbers would be what they are. I mean, even Kobe got beat up when Kobe first came in, just because of the slight difference.
Chris Child.
I mean, he got well. No,
I mean, the league was still tough when Kobe came. They were still balling.
Yeah.
It was still pretty rough.
AJ gonna catch that later. Where I mean by Chris Child. You put on YouTube, you'll see.
Yeah. I wasn't referencing the physical squaring up. You know what I'm saying? When Kobe caught that one right here.
He caught that one. I don't disagree that the league, even when Kobe's coming in, is a different league, and now but so let's go back to the question. Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time, can he be the greatest? I don't think there's a Michael Jordan without a Magic Johnson and a Larry Bird, right? And the truth is, it took him years to beat the Pistons, to beat the Lakers, to beat the Celtics, and for the Celtics, Larry Bird's on the downside of his career. Magic, we all know what happened to him, so there's no way to come back. There's no coming back from that. And then the Pistons, it is what it is at that point. But did Michael have the same kind of competition as Magic Johnson or Larry Bird? Did he have a great rival? And does that mean that you're not great or you are great? I don't know. I mean, I know he had the championships. We're not going to deny that. He got 6 rings. But Bill Russell would tell you, but I almost can double this dude. Y'all don't even bring my name up. And I coach. And I player coach one of them. Michael Jordan came on a team and be successful. I player coach and won a championship. Y'all never bring up my name. The end of the MVP trophy, for the finals, is always Bill Russell.
Yeah, it's
right.
Bill Russell.
How do we not give Bill Russell nothing? I mean, this dude was a superstar. Is he not good as Jordan?
I mean, I think you have to look at everything that Jordan brings to the table. Like even with basketball, then he has the shoes, he has the movies, and this and that. And what I'm saying, other players, a lot of players don't have that or didn't have that back then. So he has all of this, and so when you think about the discussion of greatest, I mean, I think he really he really brought a lot to basketball, and a lot of his DNA is still there, even today.
Can somebody be just is sometimes the life can be I'm at the right place at the right time. Like he comes along where there is an ESPN. Bill Russell, there's 3 channels: the ABC, CBS, NBC.
Yeah.
And basketball is not a big thing yet. It's not a big thing until we get to Magic and Larry, and we go to March Madness, and you build that up, and then Jordan comes in the 90s where cable TV is popping, where we have now been ingrained to watch, NBC, dun dun dun, so now you seeing that all that kind of come together where these other guys didn't have that per se. And Michael Jordan is a signature signing of Nike. So he brought Nike to the next level, So could it be Michael Jordan comes at the right time? That maybe he's not as great, but he's at the right time, right place, and boom, let's take it to the next level.
Yeah.
And I guess a better way to go about, I guess discussing the quote unquote the best players would be probably of their decades, because I mean Bill Russell definitely he was the man of his era in the league, like hands down from a statistical standpoint, rings, and you have players like Wilt who consider Bill Russell to be, the top dog of them all. I think it's easier to have the conversation when you start splitting them up into eras.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of, get back to that elephant in the room of the greatest of all times. If, folks can come into an agreement on who that may be. And yeah, that's why I said this could take all day. Just it's so many angles to attack it.
So if we're gonna break down eras, I mean, is there an underrated player? I think sometimes we forget about Isaiah Thomas. No softballs, Jason. But one thing that I kind of looked at with that Last Dance going on, I was like, man, we kind of forgot about Isaiah. How iconic that if you were the underdog, you like, okay, you're gonna be Magic, you're gonna be Larry, you're gonna be Michael. But if you're gonna be Isaiah, that means you're the underdog, you're the smallest person on the court, but you about to come up big. Is it as we talk about the greatest, could it be those people out there who, like a Reggie Miller, you have that time in the Garden where you score 12 or whatever points in like 9 seconds and bring your team back? Do we forget about those guys as we keep flirting with these so-called greatest of all time?
Isaiah he's not close to the top though. I mean, even on these statistical charts, he's in the mid 40s as far as his ranking goes. I got 2 different charts up. He's 47 on one and 49 on another one. Career wise, 19 points a game, 9.3 assists, 3 rebounds, 1.9 steals, and I mean Jordan blows those numbers out all the way across the board, except for the assist.
So Isaiah, I got Isaiah not even top 20. Isaiah not in top 20?
They got Dirk higher than Isaiah.
What?
Seriously.
I went out. Look, so we sleep on Dirk too. I think we.
Oh yeah,
sleep
Dirk definitely.
We sleep on Dirk. And I'm not trying to be biased. We sleep on Dirk.
Don't get me wrong. Dirk is a great player. I mean, like if I had to make the list, Dirk would definitely be in my top 20. I think that he is at this point the best international player we've ever had. But we're still trying to see what Luka's gonna do. But I would say that he's the best international player that we've seen.
So if you're a Mount Rushmore, so Michael Jordan, everybody agrees Michael Jordan's in your Mount Rushmore?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who's else on this Mount Rushmore then? There's Magic on the Mount Rushmore.
Not my Mount
I
Rushmore.
don't think. Yeah, I don't think Magic is on there because I mean, Magic is what the '80s, and I think you have to look at Larry Bird for that.
Larry Bird.
Yeah,
I know, bro. And you.
hey, look,
I can't.
I'm-
It's so much
I'm
I
a
want
Bird.
to say.
I'm a Bird fan, so
But how do you leave Bird off there though?
I got Bird. I got Bird. I got Bird
Yeah,
in top
because
5.
right here,
I need to bring
right
up some
here
other
when you
stuff.
go into the '80s, I have Bird.
I got Bird in top 5.
Yeah, in that '80s era, you have to.
Okay.
You can't, no, you can't just do that one.
Hey,
Wait,
look,
I'm just saying y'all gonna put Magic like Magic. Y'all like the league got there because of Larry. Magic had the shoe. Before it was Jordan, he had that Converse. Then he's doing his little commercial.
I mean, if we had an honorable mention for the Mount Rushmore, I mean, Magic got it.
Yeah.
All of y'all, and this will be a Christian show. Y'all been drinking. It ain't make sense. Okay, that's cool. You go ahead and do that about Magic and all that.
hey, look, put it like this. Put it like this. From a scoring perspective, Magic is no Larry. From a scoring perspective, Larry.
That's not his job.
But
Yes.
right. So he coming down. So Magic racking up. 97 assists a game. 6 points and 10 rebounds. and Larry doing triple doubles. White man get and driving to the rack, still dunking on you.
Look, he has. Larry got a better. And I'm not trying to. The Lakers were but Larry got a team, and we all agree with that. Larry got a team, and Larry's career would have. Oh man, I'm glad Nate got on here. Nate said Bill, MJ, Kobe, LeBron. Okay, that's okay.
Bill played in what, 70s?
See.
Was it the 50s?
No.
I believe Bill played in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken.
So wait, did he march with Dr. King? Like what?
Oh my! And he did. Yes. No man, he less than a player. Yes, he was at the Cleveland Summit. He was Muhammad Ali. Bill Russell was the man. Oh man, I can't believe this. See, this is how the show go in. They're gonna say y'all can't talk about the old though. Like they ain't nobody. That's what. Then y'all put Magic like Magic ain't nothing. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I know y'all ain't gonna give him love.
I mean, because I put Magic in the same group as Isaiah Thomas. Like they did what needed to be done. They did what needed to be done.
With Isaiah?
Yes.
Hey man, look,
all-time assist leader. This man made people's career.
Exactly. He did what he needed to do.
Shoot. Okay. I don't even want to be upset. I don't want to be looking like AJ last week.
Oh wow.
I'm joking.
Look, last week I was just a little biased towards my favorite. Excuse me for that. I apologize, y'all. I was biased last week.
I'm not trying to be biased about Magic. I'm trying to tell you.
Everybody know I don't like LeBron.
Jermaine,
So y'all not okay. So you said Michael. Who else? We're gonna move past Magic. So you put Larry? Y'all put Larry Bird?
Yeah. And like I said, I put LeBron on there. If you look in the era of the tens, he dominated this era. So
yeah.
He did. LeBron dominated there.
I mean, he did. I mean, I'm a KD dude. I love KD, but the dude dominated.
Okay. I didn't know when KD was coming up, but I was out.
But look, I wouldn't. But honestly, like I said, I look KD, one of my favorite players, but I wouldn't put him on there at all. I wouldn't. Just for the fact that he jumped ship. Had he won in OKC and played it out, then of course. But no, I wouldn't put him.
Because KD never had the team. And even with the Nets, he still don't have a team. That's Kyrie's team. That's not KD's team.
Oh, we're gonna see about that.
Well, I'm not
I believe it's KD team too, man.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Kyrie is Robin.
You hope. If he's your Batman, like the Celtics try to do, it's not gonna work. Kyrie can't be a Batman. He's the second or third Robin. He ain't Robin the first. He ain't Dick Grayson. He the one that some people want to knock off, like get rid of him. Anyway, okay. So you saying y'all said Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, and now y'all going to LeBron?
LeBron?
Yeah, because you have to move down in the era. So next year, LeBron.
Mount Rushmore only got 4 folks on there. So LeBron, Mount Rushmore only got 4 people.
Well, yeah. So then you'll do the 80s. Then to me, you'll do the 80s era to the 2000 era, and then you got Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron.
I agree.
Because I mean, you break it down just in those simple eras. I mean, it's easier that way.
And Jason is quiet. Jason, what you think, Jason?
I got no comment right now.
See, I'm not even saying you got to do by era. That one era is better than. Sometimes one era just is a scrub era.
But I think it's only fair, though. I think it's only fair if you break it down that way.
Fair don't mean make it right. Make it right. Make it right, brother.
Because otherwise, then we can't do this. We can't do this. This greatest thing. You just throw it all away.
Because see, I think sometimes people forget about AI. If AI had the team that Kobe had, do we look at AI way different? AI brought Philly by himself.
Yeah, and he would get honorable mentions for what the late 90s, early 2000s. We'll give him honorable mentions.
Because that's why the brothers got wear suits, because of AI.
Yeah,
AI was there, and remember when he crossed up Jordan himself, he crossed him up. Remember that.
So a piece of news, like I'm looking at Will Chamberlain's info on this one particular list. It says as briefly mentioned in the ranking, you can't forget about Elgin Baylor, but just like Elgin, your competition matters. And when we're talking about dominance, Will was undoubtedly one of the most dominant players ever, but he played in a weaker era. And this is why on this particular list they have him ranked 8th. Another list they had him ranked 6th, I think. But folks are also weighing in the competition you played against during those times as well. But I mean, Wilt, Kareem, Russell, there's so many folks that you can put up there, but you got to start looking at the competition they was playing against. And that's just before that bad boys hard basketball, because they wasn't following like that in that particular era. But what did AJ say? You said Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, and who?
And LeBron. Larry Bird, Mike, Kobe, and LeBron.
No Shaq?
No, I wouldn't put Shaq. Now we want to go a defensive Mount Rushmore. Then that's a whole different another conversation as well.
I'm just talking about overall.
Then I'll put Shaq on there.
Shaq
overall, no.
I would put Shaq on there before I put Magic.
Yep.
Yeah.
on this particular list, Shaq is actually over Magic. Let's go Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Shaq, Tim Duncan.
Now I'm gonna bring up the ESPN list goes Michael Jordan, then goes LeBron, then goes Kareem. Remember, he's the #1 point scorer of all time, right? Then you got Bill Russell. Then he goes Magic, #5. Then Wilt was 6. Larry is 7. Tim Duncan, who's I think underrated. I think we forget because it's quiet. Underrated. It's not like they flashy. That's #8. Kobe #9. Shaq #10.
Whoever at ESPN made that list should be fired.
They might think y'all need to be fired because y'all ain't got Magic as an honorable mention. Y'all said he was with Isaiah Thomas. Y'all crazy. Yeah?
But you have Kobe.
And let me say, and that article was dated May 13, 2020. I just want to put that out there so y'all don't think that was 2020. 2020. May 13, 2020. Exactly about 2 months ago.
Here goes something else funny. On this list, the list I was looking at, Dirk was 21 and KD was 22.
Wow.
Because Dirk won himself a championship.
Yeah,
he didn't have to, right? Because you can't say he was playing with another Hall of Famer at their prime, or maybe even 2 Hall of Famers at their prime. Maybe 3 Hall of Famers if you want to give homeboy who like to hit people in their privates in their prime. KD got that. KD, I mean, Dirk Jason Kidd was not at his prime. He the only dude that was in his prime on the team at the time.
Yeah.
Jason Kidd was like, man, I'm trying to make it happen. Dirk was outstanding. Just outstanding. And I hate that Mark Cuban did him like that after the championship. Oh, I'll blow it up. I can do it again. It was arrogant to say he could just do it again. The NBA is harder to replicate greatness than it is in football. Because you got to have the right mixture. That chemistry is more important, I think, in NBA than it is in NFL. And you cannot, Michael Jordan shows, you have to have another almost Hall of Fame player type to win multiple championships.
Yeah.
Because Michael,
you definitely have to have somebody, you know, like a team of people around you.
Right.
You know, you can't just do it by yourself.
Right. And that's all LeBron did when he went to Miami. I cannot win like this. That's not the NBA model. The NBA model is no single player gonna win a championship by yourself. Because I mean, can we name one that like you really just did that? You carried the whole team in the last 20 years. Man, you go back 30. I ain't go back 40. We go back 40 years. Somebody like, man, they carried that whole team. That was them. They had nobody else. Isaiah had Joe Dumars. Michael had Pippen. You know, and give Rodman and Grant credit too. You know, Magic, you know, he had James Worthy. He had Kareem at the beginning. Larry Bird has almost a whole squad of Hall of Famers.
I mean, I think LeBron tried to, like, when he first got into the league, I think they had played San Antonio that year in the finals or whatever. Like, I mean, he really did. I mean, what you had?
Oh, yeah. No doubt. No doubt. He had nobody.
Yeah,
he could. Yeah.
Nobody. I mean, nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. And that's why like, I got to go to Miami. And when y'all get y'all stuff back together, I'll come back and I'll play with Kyrie. And even that was still, because he knew you got to have multiple people. You cannot win. That's when you go to the Lakers, I got to have somebody help me out. Because that's just how the NBA works.
I mean, what nothing but a new revision of that older era, because all them older teams had, you know, three-headed monster for the most part.
Yes. That's why Charles Barkley was silly when he was trying to say that, I wouldn't want a super team, because you never got to play on one. You waited too late to try it with the Houston Rockets. You never got to play truly on one. But all these people got super teams because they had really good GMs. They could put all that together. A lot of GMs are like, AI was wasted. AI should have had help. He needed help. Waste. That's a waste. You see with Danny Ainge with the Celtics. He put Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen. Come on, man. That's because you know that's how it got to work. You cannot win an NBA without almost that 2 to 3 headed monster. That's why the Mavericks, when they won, that was outstanding. Outstanding. That's why Dirk won.
I mean, I just don't like the fact that
Dirk was knocking them out.
That whole thing of super team, I think now is even trickling down. Well, it hadn't started now. I mean, it has been started. You know, when you look at, you know, high schools now, you know, and so you have, you know, this person from Atlanta coming, you know, to play in Cali, you know, then you have this other person coming, you know, and so it's like they are even now in high school putting together these, you know, what we call super teams. You know, it's like at one point, does it, you know, stop? I think it's cool for the NBA. But I mean, are we going to then teach our, you know, our young guys like, okay, this is what you need to do in order to succeed. You need to uproot from wherever and go and play in Cali, because that's where you're going to, you know, get the, you know, the McDonald's All-American. You know, that's where you're going to be, you know, discovered by Duke or whatever team.
But didn't college basketball already do that? Like with, like, you know, Grant Hill's playing with Christian Laettner. You know, Jordan is playing with Sam Perkins, and I think Worthy. If I might be off a year or so, but like these teams, those top teams, Kentucky. I mean, Kentucky just up to these. Or you go back to Kareem and UCLA. If you're gonna win championship in the NCAA, you're gonna have multiple people too. You know, and so I guess I hear what you're saying, but I feel like there is no such thing as a super team. They're just great personnel directors. Because Michael Jordan would not win one championship without Pippen.
But that wasn't a super team.
Right. That was.
Hall of Fame. I look at Hall of Famers as that's a super team. When you have Rodman, a Hall of Famer, Pippen, a Hall of Famer, Michael Jordan, in the top 25 at the time was Pippen and Jordan, according to the NBA Association itself. You on the super team, bro? You top league.
But they didn't say that. But they didn't do like Miami did, like when you know what I'm saying, Wade went and talked to Bosh and and LeBron about coming to Miami. You know what I'm saying? It was just
you don't think Pat Riley was involved in that? Let me let you know. Pat Riley put a super team together in New York. That was Larry Johnson. That was Patrick Ewing. That was all them
John
players.
Stockton.
Come on. And then now flip it back to when he was with the Lakers. This what Pat Riley do. This with homeboy now Pat what's my man the Bulls coach?
Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson walks into things that are already established. He don't put it together. He walks into established situations and make them better. I give him that props. But that's what I'm saying. I don't give Dwayne Wade that much credit. I know he get credit, but they talk about how Pat Riley talked with him.
Mm-hmm.
And how Pat Riley was really upset with LeBron for a long time afterward, because like, man, I worked that out. That's what I'm just saying. Pat Riley, a great personnel director.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the Mavericks struggle. We need a good personnel director. We're supposed to have Giannis here. But Mark Cuban said, oh, don't do that. A great personnel director would have saw that talent. Like, that boy need to be here. Let's put that together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. AI was wasted. There's a lot of wasted talent out there because you have poor personnel directors. And LeBron would have been one. Who were they going to bring to Cleveland?
Carmelo.
Cleveland was... Come on, man. No, nobody. And no diss to Cleveland. I don't want people to start like hating us later on. But come on, man. Ain't nobody going to Cleveland. Right. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that's about it. And Cole. The Browns are terrible.
Right. Horrible.
Come on. I mean, nobody going to Cleveland. But I would go to Miami. I go to Miami today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll stay inside because of COVID, but I go to Miami. I look outside the window like, oh, look at Miami. Look at them. Miami, a hot city.
It is.
Ain't no income tax. No state income tax.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Chris Bosh was in Toronto. What you think he don't want to leave Canada?
Pre-Drake.
Pre-Drake.
Chris came with the lightest salary agreement just because he wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, he wanted to ring. Yeah.
Right. And he got paid nicely.
Mm-hmm. I would have did the same thing.
Hey, that Lincoln High School, everybody. South Dallas, Texas. National champion or award winner, Chris Bosh. Don't forget about it. But I'm just saying.
Now, you did make one comment about Jordan not being able to do it without Pippen.
Yeah, okay.
It was that one year when Pippen, the news got out that Pippen took less money, and he could have been, extremely paid, but he was extremely underpaid for, at least 2 seasons because he took like some crazy long extension for a little bit of money. Mm-hmm. So right when he started demanding more money and they wasn't trying to hear that year when he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and have his surgery, and I'm gonna sit out basically the whole season up until playoff time, and Jordan still got him to the playoffs in a good seed. I mean, he was averaging almost 40 a night, it seemed like, out there, just because he had no Pippen. Now they started off losing, but midway through the season, I mean, he got it rolling. And that's when you had your John Paxson and other players, Kukoc and some other folks who kind of came into the mix to help them out because he wasn't playing with them because he used to have Pip to work it through. But he learned mid-season, on how to make those guys good, and it was actually more team ball. So they, that's the only time where I'm like, they really didn't need Pippen at that particular point in time.
But they didn't win it without him.
Correct, they didn't.
They didn't, and that's what I feel like. Even going back to that Last Dance, which we had to show on during that time, because we could have talked about that each week. I feel like they gave Pippen a raw deal.
Oh yeah.
Pippen is one of the top. You can't debate it. He's one of the top 50 players of all time.
Oh yeah.
You know, Pippen was great. You know, he didn't get paid like he should have. I don't think he gets recognized like he should have. And he's always going to be known as the Robin to Michael Jordan's Batman. But that's a strong Robin. And not everybody has that. And so that's what I'm saying. I agree with you. I agree with you, Jason. During that season, he shows, hey, I'm doing what I'm doing. But Michael Jordan did go to the Wizards and was not the same. Now, I'm not saying, hey, he's older, but he went to the Wizards. Jerry Stackhouse, Kwame Brown always said it was mistakes. I wish I never did that in my life. Jerry Stackhouse was quoted, I wish I didn't play with him. Kwame Brown, drafted out of high school, cried. But Michael Jordan busted him. That was a bad.
That dude's a bust.
I don't know Michael Jordan the great. He might be one of the greatest, but I ain't want him as. I don't know if I want him as a teammate. You don't want bruh. Don't break down my self-esteem. I don't know. I mean, you tell me.
Hey, I mean, he pushed the players. I mean, everybody say. I mean, he definitely was on you as far as your game go. He was first to let you know, and you saw it in the Last Dance at all the practices. Yeah, I mean, the trash talking was at an all-time high. You know what I'm saying? Scrimmage games, pickup. But Jordan was never like just straight up disrespecting you. He was just pointing out the obvious.
Horace Grant, he would agree with you, Horace Grant?
Huh?
Horace Grant would agree with you?
I mean, see, hey, look, Horace story changed up though, man. Like it's two different versions of Horace story. I don't know which one to believe. Because at first Horace ain't had no problem, and then all of a sudden, after the movie, after the series drop out, now Horace, he want to go back and spill all the beans. But there is another video that speaks to Horace in his allegations or why he's mad, but he's on record basically saying everything opposite of what he's saying now. Back in the day, he was in the paper and all that.
But do you think that Michael Jordan had so much power to go against him strongly that he could blacklist you?
I mean, Jordan had blacklisting power because otherwise Isaiah would have been on that All-Star team.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for that truth coming out. Michael Jordan trying to use the media like he used during the Last Dance. Oh, I didn't say nothing. Even brought out the guy, one of the personnel directors. Oh yeah, I was over it. It was on me. No, you're lying. Because now it's on tape that Michael admits to it. But that came out after the Last Dance was finally over because ESPN needed those ratings. They ain't had nothing else to play. And I'm not. And maybe it's starting to come across. I'm not the biggest Michael Jordan fan. I respect the work. I respect the crowd. But man, come on, man. He got a little hustle, like a little con to him too.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you walk right past Michael Jordan, like Jordan walked past what's the head coach? used to coach the Sonics.
George.
Yes, yeah, Carl. George
Yes,
Carl.
Carl.
Yeah. I almost got a feeling you get Jordan cold shoulder right now if he walked into the house.
I would. I mean, he walked in the house and be like, "Oh, dog, sign his shoes. I'm not wearing it no more."
Hey, look, put your mask on and get out of here, man. What are you doing?
Hey, that's how I feel about LeBron.
And I feel like they're two different folks for me, right? First of all, I was a big Magic Johnson fan growing up. I'm not gonna lie about that. That's why when y'all diss my man like that, it got a little personal. When Magic announced he had HIV, that I'm 9 years old or whatever, I had a couple of tears because during that time, somebody said they had HIV, you think they supposed to die, and I respect Magic Johnson's business mind. He makes things happen. I mean, that was my dude. And so when Michael won his first championship against Magic, I said, "Oh, forever hate, forever hate."
So that's what it was. Okay,
it was, and that's why it made me hate Kobe because he was like the Michael Jordan clone. And now I can appreciate Kobe a little bit more. But that's what it was. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason.
I just happened to glance down at the comments that was rolling in, and wanted to address the Patrick Ewing mention.
Please.
Anthony Mason and Charles
Please.
Oakley.
Please.
The positive part I'm going to say about the collection of individuals there were that was probably one of the top 5 toughest teams to play during that particular time. That interior D, that's they're still back in that bad boys type of style of play. Like you wouldn't drive into the racks on them. Patrick may take a facial and get posterized every other game, but it still was tough to score on them. That was a good collection of folks. Now,
unless it was Michael Jordan.
Now, on the fact that Patrick is probably right along with Karl Malone of top 2 greatest all times never to sniff a championship.
Yeah, I would say that.
That's so hurtful.
No, I mean
it's true though.
I mean, Pat, yeah, he was. I mean, he definitely is up there. With, hey, look, hey, Karl Malone said, hey, look, the mailman, he just didn't deliver when he should have. That's all.
Ain't nobody will be with the mailman.
And then he got with the Lakers and still couldn't win one. Come on,
man. That was a mess. That goes back. That was a mess. You had Gary Payton, Carl. That was a mess.
That's the mailman I remember. I don't remember the Utah mailman. I remember the
Utah mailman was. I mean, he's like a blue. He's like one of the greatest blue collar basketball players ever. It wasn't. He wasn't flashy. His game. He had a strong game, which is a basic, fundamental game. Like
right. John Stockton too. I mean that, and the coach, everybody, and once again. You need another guy. They didn't have that. You had Karl Malone and John Stockton. You need another guy. And especially going against Jordan during that time, you didn't have another guy. And I think some people forget about the Sonics. That was a nice team. But they needed another guy. Yeah. I didn't say they were great. They were nice. They were nice.
No, I'm there with you. I'm there with you.
They were nice. They were nice. I feel like Mike Jordan really never. What I loved about Magic and Larry, those were great teams. You can't deny those great battles that they were going to have. There you go. See, you forget about Shawn Kemp. Shawn Kemp was, for all them babies, he was on point.
That's my favorite player in life.
Shawn Kemp. Okay.
Is he still alive?
He is.
See.
Oh. No, I'm asking for real.
Hey, Jermaine immediately wishing voodoo on him, man. Over there poking dials on him right now.
Oh man, that was cold.
You gotta stay alive. That's
man, cold.
Hey man, look, let me turn the news on tonight and see some Shawn Kemp news. I'm driving over to your mansion immediately, man.
Have they done
Gordon ain't gonna let you win.
You know Jermaine got some Louisiana in him, so you got that wood. So okay. So I guess we all say that there should be a Mount Rushmore, and we all agree that there's a lot of debate. We all agree that Michael Jordan, no matter what, is in your top 5, top 4 players of all time, no matter what. And so, and we've been talking about Michael so much, we really haven't spoken about LeBron. And so with LeBron, I think everybody agrees he's in your top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then y'all said Kobe. Mm-hmm. Well, y'all said Larry. I didn't say Larry. And y'all put Kobe. But let's go. Does LeBron need to win another championship or 2 to say he is better than Michael Jordan? Or is there never going to be that case?
The conversation becomes a little more interesting if he wins another one. That's about all I can really say about it. I mean, that's also one of the things that hang over his head, from a championship perspective. That's kind of that. Well, how many rings he got? You're right. The conversation kind of dies out there sometimes.
Right. But this is a guy who was it 7 or 8 years straight. He was in NBA Finals.
Yeah, but you can't look at that because then LeBron's losing record is also highest of all time too.
Right.
I mean,
I know, but it's like me saying the Buffalo Bills are trash. They're not trash. Those 4 years.
Man, you hate New York. That's what it is.
Man.
I mean,
First of all, we
jeez.
ain't gonna put that out there like that because I gotta go back home after this.
Hey, look, this is already being recorded, my man. It's already on tape.
No hate, no hate. What I'm trying to use is like LeBron, the Buffalo Bills. You know, when you make it to the championship, there's a whole bunch of people that didn't make it, and you make it 8 years in a row. You gonna make it a whole decade. Now, see, if you make a whole decade, that says a lot about you.
Not when you playing in a weak division.
Now you're gonna bring up division, but y'all don't look at Michael Jordan's division during the 90s. Y'all don't even talk about that. But y'all want to bring up LeBron's divisions.
I mean, the Bulls ain't have it easy.
Right.
Detroit.
The Bulls had like five teams.
Yeah.
During the 90s. Detroit is not the same as it was in the 80s versus 90s. That's not the same team. The Celtics weren't either. Come on now.
But then Mike also didn't like quit during the playoffs. Like I felt like there were a few times where LeBron like quit, like especially when he was at Cleveland or whatever before he got with Miami. Like he just quit. It was like, okay, like what are you doing?
So you talking about when he was 20? Because he got in the league at 18. He's a child.
Regardless, you quit.
You playing a grown man's game,
right? You getting grown man money.
With them grown man flops.
Right.
Well, it's hate, y'all. So y'all put the man y'all Mount Rushmore, but then you hate on the man still.
Because you have to. When you look at his numbers, you look at his skills, his talents. Markability. You have to put him up there. You ain't gonna take that from the man.
Okay, so right now we was in the gym and all your basketball players that you could ever think of is in there, and you had your money on who could take LeBron 1-on-1. Who is that? Who can take LeBron 1-on-1?
And LeBron gonna play, right? 1-on-1.
But who you got that's gonna beat LeBron in 1-on-1?
In today's game, you said all day.
KD.
I'm gonna say KD too.
Yeah.
On defense,
I believe.
KD not stopping LeBron.
KD is big as my son, as thin as my son.
But you say KD
to take on LeBron defensively, get him down the post. KD gonna get hurt again. ACL gone. It's gone. ACL gone.
Bro, they gonna fly.
You don't think KD gonna fly? When LeBron back him down with the elbow? Come on, man.
Nah.
Come on, LeBron a big dude. He's a big linebacker dude versus KD. KD. I know we got comments from him now.
So I'm gonna say KD or Giannis. Giannis can take him, and he gonna take him down.
Yeah, but
Kawhi could take him.
Kawhi too.
Kawhi could take him.
I can see that,
and we know that. Why? Because Kawhi did it. Kawhi has done it. That's a fact. And Kawhi, he went against Giannis. Come on, he got Giannis. What Kawhi did last year?
Giannis can't shoot.
And we didn't talk about Kawhi, huh?
I said, Giannis can't shoot. So I wouldn't put Giannis out there. You stop Giannis
because he can play defense. He gonna stop him. He gonna slow him down.
Yeah, but you stop Giannis from getting to the rack, then Giannis ain't putting up nothing. So LeBron's still going to win.
Who's gonna stop him getting there?
LeBron gonna stop him getting there. He's still bigger than him. He's still got more size than him.
All right.
LeBron is bigger than Giannis?
I don't think he is.
Giannis is still tall, but he ain't thick.
He's lanky.
Right. That's why I said LeBron's, and we got like 2 minutes. LeBron's body's built like an NFL dude.
And he still flops.
Right. So why do he still flop that big?
Man, y'all's a hater, boy.
And to be honest,
I expect that from Jermaine. I expect that from you, AJ. I expect that Jermaine hates on everything. The last 2 weeks of you, AJ, I'm shocked and appalled of the hate. Jermaine is a known hater. He hates on everything. He hates on roses and sunflowers. He hates. But you, AJ, I'm hurt. Because I just knew you were going to be a LeBron fan.
I gave the man his credit, though.
But now I know that you're a big KD fan. KD's a hater. So I see y'all now. I'm hurting the part. We got minutes to go. I just want to thank y'all for being here. I'm hurt at this show. I was happy last show, happy the show for Y'all diss Magic, you diss LeBron. These are my two favorite players right now. And y'all diss both of them, and I'm just hurt. And y'all talk about Isaiah so badly. And the Detroit brother, I threw that out to a softball for my Detroit brother. He like, nah, I'm good. Oh, I'm so hurt. After this conversation, I just knew my Detroit brother was not going to give Jordan love, and he gave. So they asked him, what's the topic for next? We need to have a mental health talk on this show. How do you get over sports hurt from brothers you admire and respect? We might have to call in Ms. Holmes for our sports talk show.
It's all right, Pastor. We'll be praying for you.
See, there you go. See, that's what the Christian folks will do. They want to put you in prayer.
We're gonna pray for LeBron too.
Right. God is able.
Well, the cliches. We gonna give more who you think you can handle, whatever. So anyway, we've had a good talk. I think we came to a consensus that Michael Jordan is up there. He's on that Mount Rushmore for sure. And others.
I mean, in a perfect world, I mean, I put Adrian Dantley on the list before I put Magic. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I want to say.
Hey, look, Mitch Richmond deserve a shot, man.
Yeah,
it's Michael Jordan and the Temptations.
I appreciate y'all for tuning in this week. I don't know, we're gonna be back next week.
Wow.
I know it's gonna be on a Magic Johnson, LeBron reaction show. So it's gonna be very good, like it's been the last 2 weeks. I'm hurt. We're gonna see. As you know, the Redskins are officially will not be the Redskins for the future. That will not be a topic, but we still got more to talk about. The NFL will be trying to gear up. We also got the baseball is trying to gear up. We got the NBA who have now officially entered the bubble. And we know that Russell Westbrook is not there because he has been tested positive for COVID-19. So pray for him because he's in Houston. Y'all pray for Houston, but they're in the bubble, and we're gonna see how it goes. So that's probably what we're gonna talk about next week. We can get any games, and it's gonna be a lot of games. They're even talking about how the playoffs will be all day long.
Yes.
Trying to get that. So it should be interesting. Plus, they're in Florida, which now looks like New York City.
It's the epicenter.
Oh, right. So, and are these brothers really going to stay bubbled up?
Not with that food they be serving, no, sir.
Remember last week?
I honestly think they will.
Last week we was talking about once they got on site at Disney, about not sneaking out, and we started about like delivery food and Rashard Holmes, Sacramento, has to quarantine 14 days because of some delivery driver or something like that. Delivery food they already had delivered to him at Disney. I just seen that right before we had jumped on this call, and it's like we ain't even started yet, and just
no.
Yeah.
And you like it's Sacramento. What do you think the real players doing on the real team?
Sacramento was balling.
Come on now, they're not the Clippers. They're not the Lakers. They're not even Toronto.
Hey, but they
the Mavericks.
What?
Sacramento is not no slouch this season.
They're not no slouch.
They're not no slouch.
Neither was the Mavericks.
Fox, Buddy Hill, Shaw Holmes,
Bagley.
Yeah. But with that being said, that could be next week. If you get a bunch of people testing positive for COVID, that means your team got sick or parts of your team, and it could be like Major League Soccer where Nashville and Dallas had to pull out the whole tournament because too many of their players got COVID.
Yeah. Man.
So we'll see. This all brand new stuff that we're all dealing with. Well, I want to thank y'all guys for being here. I know we're 4 minutes over, but it's been a good topic. I hope everybody has had some good laughs. Nobody had any Wi-Fi issues today. So we in with our charm. We did have the Wizard of Oz show up. And then we also had the haters. So our lines drawn now. I would never talk about Magic Johnson with these three brothers ever again.
Oh man.
Yeah, don't bring him up unless you're talking about Starbucks.
or the movie theaters, because you got a couple of them in Detroit.
I was a diehard fan. I watched a Magic TV show. I didn't understand anything he said, but I watched because he needed to support my brother. I support my brother. That's right. And I went to the Starbucks on Camp Wisdom. That's right. I give Magic Johnson. Y'all some haters. Then you hate on the
Somebody hating on the man.
Hate. And everybody flops.
Not like LeBron though. Not like LeBron.
Hey, I'm gone. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We're gonna be back next week. We're gonna try to get this together. Y'all pray for these three brothers so they can see greatness in their eyes. Anyway, thank y'all for being here. We will be hitting y'all with some great topics. If y'all have anything that y'all want to share with us, please share, like, and subscribe. But also email us, put in any topics that you would like us to talk about, and then we will definitely dive into that. We always like to talk about the sorry city of New York, so that's no problem talking about them too. I'll get in trouble for that later. But,
yes, you will.
We'll talk about the sorry Giants, the sorry Jets, the sorry Knicks, and the sorry Nets. We'll talk about all the sorry.
Hey man,
let me. You digging a hole?
If y'all all want to tune in, we want all of New York to come on and tune in. We would love to.
You ain't even gonna get a chance to sleep on the couch. You have to put your tent in the backyard tonight.
I ain't talking about the Yankees. I got it. You gotta respect the Yankees. The Yankees is it. That's what they got.
In the car tonight.
I mean, you might as well name all the colleges and high schools too. Why you at it?
Right? I just saying. Look, how they did stuff on Marbury. Maybe we need to talk about that, brother. How they did him, and he had go away trying to get love, and now his own neighborhood. That was wrong, New York. Y'all were wrong for that. What y'all did to that Coney Island brother.
So you bought some Starberries?
Yes, I did.
Exactly.
I got me from law school. I had that in law school, Starberries. I couldn't afford more known shoes. My Starberries were clean, and I rocked them. I love my Starberries.
Smart business move.
It was. And then LeBron did. I ain't like that what LeBron did. So that was wrong, LeBron.
I mean, Shaq did the same thing with Kmart.
Yeah, but it wasn't the same quality. And that my aunt bought me some of them Shaq shoes. I returned that joint. I said, they'll make fun of me at school. I can't wear that. I knew that. I was like, no, I can't do that. I can't put those Shaq shoes on. No, man. I do wear regular shoes.
Oh, God.
LA Gears. The LA Gears. That's who got you through. LA Gears.
Light up.
Catapults.
Man. No. Shaq shoes look crazy. But anyway. Well, maybe that's what we'll talk about. The best shoes. I don't know if you a sneaker game, man. That could be it. What was your sneaker game looking like back in the day? And maybe when you finally got some money in your pocket, so how did your sneaker game? Because that's a real sports conversation.
Yeah,
your sneaker game, from talking about Jordans to talking about the other shoes. Because this FYI, my first real shoe was some Gary Paytons my dad got me, and I rocked those out.
Wait, Gary Payton had a shoe?
He had a shoe. It was they were green and white. I rocked them. Gary Payton had a shoe. Googly, Gary Payton had a shoe. My sister bought me some Jamal Mashburn. I love them shoes. Some Steelers.
Wait, Jamal Mashburn had some shoes too?
Yeah, he
did. Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Come on now. Yeah. See, okay, that's our topic next week, y'all. That's part of our topic. What was your sneaker game looking like? Which shoe? So I'm telling you, I've been Jamal Mashburn, Gary Payton, and I have me to AIs.
Are we doing A list or B list?
And there's a C list. There's a C list.
It's a C list too.
There's a C list. There's a C list. Oh. That's because I talk about New York. It's all right. That's 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 all right. Now family drama coming up in here like we Beyonce and Jay-Z. We ain't gonna do all that. We ain't got no Solange. So we go.
Ain't no dinner tonight, man. Just put you some noodles in the microwave.
That's why I ate before the show. You ain't gonna start me out.
So you knew you was coming on hating. See, premeditated hate.
Right, he had it planned out.
He prepared for this like he was doing the sermons, man.
Right.
Oh, man.
See,
All right.
New York. Let me see. The Knicks.
Right. He just went down the checklist.
No, I did not talk about the Yankees. They are the greatest Major League Baseball team of all time. Can't debate it. The Yankees are it. So I give that, and that's the Bronx. I give them love, but we hate on them Giants. We get them. Y'all have a great day.
All right,
The Giants losers and the Jets too. We appreciate y'all. You live in the best city in America, Dallas, Texas. Ain't that right? They're right.
Hey, everybody stay blessed, man.
All right, y'all take care.